Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Thursday. It's time for a Magic Stuff. This is where I talk about lots of different stuff on the Magic Stuff, hence the name, Magic Stuff. And today I'm going to be talking about 5 problems or 5 mistakes that beginning magicians make when they first get into magic. So 5 mistakes that magicians who are new into magic, they make when they first start getting into magic. It's really important to kind of look at stuff like this. And this might be the first of a series of videos. This is the information that I wish I had when I first got into magic. Because when you first get into magic and you kind of maybe have bought yourself a Svengali deck and on you go, you get, oh my gosh, this is amazing, this is brilliant, let me go and buy another trick, let me go and buy another trick, and you end up going down that rabbit hole. There's a lot of mistakes that you can make, and looking back, if somebody had said to me, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, I would be in a much better position than I am right now. I think I would have advanced a lot quicker. So it's 5 mistakes that beginners make when they first get into magic, and what you can do to make sure that you don't make those mistakes. And if you are making those mistakes, how to rectify it. Okay, so mistake number 1, the first mistake that magicians make when they first get into magic is buying absolutely everything. And I think it's because when you first get into magic and you realize that there's these online magic shops and you find Penguin Magic and Vanishing Ink and Alakazam and Prop Dog and Murphy's Magic and all these wonderful places, your eyes just kind of open and it's like, oh my gosh, this is like an Aladdin's cave. And the problem with magic shops these days is there's so much magic coming out, and a lot of the time, even with the not so great downloads, the trailers can make them look amazing, especially if you're relatively new into magic and you haven't got the sort of the foundations in place. So you don't know a lot of techniques, you haven't seen a lot of tricks. A lot of these things will just completely floor you. You'll be watching this trailer and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I need that, I need that, I need that, I need that. I've got to spend this £150 on this trick. I've got to spend this £200 on this trick. And you end up with a big pile of stuff that you didn't probably need that will end up in your bottom drawer. Because what will happen is you'll buy it because really you're buying it because you want to know the secret. So you buy this trick, you watch the download, you learn the secret, you play around with it, and then you put it down because you've got another 3 tricks that have just come through the post. So then you've got to learn that one, then you've got to learn that one, then you've got to learn that one. And you end up not really learning anything and not really advancing yourself as a performer. So I suppose the first piece of advice I'd give you is when you're relatively new into magic, show a little restraint. Don't buy absolutely everything because it looks cool or because you want to know the secret. And in actual fact, I would suggest that you seriously think about what the type of magic is that you want to do. And I know you're going to say, I want to do everything, I want to do this and I want to do that. But that's cool and that's fine. But don't run before you can walk. If you want to be a card magician, for example, and you go, right, okay, I want to be a card magician, then don't buy any of the other stuff. Don't buy the mentalism. Don't buy the coin magic. Don't buy the stage tricks. Don't buy the kid show tricks. Just buy stuff that's going to help you become a card magician. And then when you've got really good at that, or you've got to a certain level there, then you can go, right, okay, now what else do I want to learn in this wonderful world of magic? I remember when I first got into magic, I had a burning desire to buy a chair suspension. I had no idea why. I'd never performed to real people in my life. I'd never performed to real people. I just did it out of my bedroom. I don't know what I was going to do with a chair suspension, but I saved up, I got myself a chair suspension, and it just sat there in my bedroom, taking up piles of space, when I could have spent that money on something a lot more interesting that I could have actually gone out and performed, if that makes sense. So the first piece of advice I'll give you is show a little restraint and figure out what the best thing to do is. So again, using the example of a card magician, if you want to learn card magic and you want to be a really good card magician, then buy some beginner stuff. Buy Daryl's Encyclopedia of Card Magic. Buy Easy to Master Card Miracles by Michael Amar. Because buying something like that will provide you with so many more resources from a sleights point of view, from a performing point of view, from a routining point of view. You'll get far more information than buying that 50 quid trick that's got a gimmick in the box with a 3-minute tutorial that teaches you how to do it. You won't learn anything. You won't be able to apply that to any other trick. You won't be able to apply that to any other routine. The way to build up your knowledge base is by, looking at the classics of magic. And that brings us on to point number 2. Let's look at point number 2 right now. So I mentioned on point number 1, I kind of went into point number 2, but let's just very quickly elaborate on this. Point number 2 is when you're buying magic, don't buy the gimmicks. Let's say you've decided you want to be a card magician and you want to learn how to be a really good card magician. Get the foundations out the way. I would advise you to get the card college books, but I know that not everybody is very good at reading from magic books, and I totally understand that because they can be a little bit dry, they can be a little bit boring, they can be a difficult read. There's so many other options. Get some downloads on how to do basic card magic, and then intermediate card magic. Go on some of the Penguin Lives that talk about basic and intermediate card magic. Let's say you want to be a coin magician. I'm not just saying this because I'm promoting my own stuff, but my Coin Magic Academy for Alakazam, I think is great for a beginner because it takes you from the very, very beginning and teaches you some really cool routines and some really cool techniques that you can apply to other tricks. Look at the Metal series by Eric Jones. Look at some of the stuff that Justin Miller has done. Look at all of this. You don't have to, I remember speaking to a newer magician. He'd only been in magic about 3 months. And he came up to me at the there's this thing where I live called the car boot sale that happens twice a year. And he came up to me and he said, I've just bought Triple Helix. It's really good. And I was like, okay, cool, great. I'm glad you like it. And he's like, yeah, I've done it once. I haven't done it again since. He was a hobbyist. And he performed for his friends and family. So he bought this £50 trick that he performed like once or twice to his family and to some friends. And now he can't do it again. But he didn't learn anything from Triple Helix. It's not like buying this expensive gimmick taught him a move that he can apply in so many other places. It taught him how to gimmick a card box and do one particular trick. So understand that when you first, it comes back to the fact that when you first get into magic, it's so exciting. It's so exciting, isn't it? There's so much that you can learn. But again, it comes back to restraint. Think about what you need to learn. If you were going and starting a new job as a plumber, for example, and you'd never done plumbing before, and this analogy has already got away with me, but let's just say that you're wanting to become a plumber and you're doing an apprentice as a plumber. You've never done any plumbing before, but you've now found yourself as an apprentice. What they're going to do at the beginning is teach you the basics of plumbing. They're not going to send you to a job immediately and they're not going to say, right, okay, go and do that, because they understand that you need the basics first. So understand that when you go out and buy tricks, try to buy something that's going to broaden your knowledge base, broaden your toolbox, so that ultimately you're going to be able to create your own tricks and you're going to be able to do your own tricks. That's point 2. Let's move on to point number 3. Okay, so point number 3 is rushing out to do paid professional gigs when you first get into magic. And look, here's the thing. I really, really love performing magic. And I'm a full-time professional magician and I love that. And I'm a big advocate of people moving from a hobbyist level to a full-time pro level or a semi-pro level. I think that's absolutely great. If that's something that you want to do, then for sure you should make that your goal and you should go and do it, because at the end of the day, magic is a performance art. And even if you can just become a semi-pro and you can make a little bit of pocket money to go and buy the tricks that it is that you're buying, well, that's amazing, right? It's one of the only hobbies that you can actually go and make money from when you've got to a certain level. The problem is, and I see this over and over again, people getting into magic and immediately marketing themselves as a magician when they aren't ready because they haven't had the experience, or they haven't got the knowledge base, or they haven't got the experience to make sure that they do a good job. And this reminds me of a joke that someone told me once. And the joke was very simple. There was this guy called, let's call him James. And James got a magic set off his wife because he always liked watching magic shows. He got a magic set off his wife for Christmas. And in the new year, he found a local magic club, and he went to the local magic club, and he came back after week number 1, and his wife said, "What was it like?" And James said, "Oh, it was amazing. I learned how to turn 2 cards over as one. It's called a double lift. And there was this lecturer there, and he was teaching us all this stuff, and I've bought some things. It's really good." And she went, "Oh, that's nice, James. That's good." So the next week, there he goes, he comes back, and his wife said, "How was Magic Club, James?" And he went, "Oh, it was amazing. This week I learned how to make a coin disappear. There was this amazing coin magician there that was a lecturer, and he sold stuff, and I bought a load of stuff afterwards, and he taught us how to do coins across and things like that. It was really good." "Oh, brilliant. I'm glad you're enjoying it." So the next week, he comes back quite late, and his wife said, "How was Magic Club?" And he went, "Oh, I didn't go this week. I had a gig." And it's the perfect example of running before you can walk. And here's the thing. Magic has a really good perception at the moment. You'll hear people like Tabrizi saying magic is dead. Magic is not dead. It is very much alive. Who won AGT this year? A magician. That's right. The last season of BGT. There were more magicians on the final than anything else, and they were all put in by the public, not by the judges. Magic is very much alive and well. However, there is a certain perception amongst some lay people that magic is a bit rubbish. And a lot of the time, that perception comes from seeing a magician that maybe wasn't rubbish, but they weren't ready to go and perform. And the thing is, when you come into this industry, you realise there's a lot of professional magicians. The amount of amateurs that I've spoken to that have said, "I didn't realise that you could become a professional magician. I didn't realise that was a thing," right? You don't realise until you're in this industry and you realise just how big it is, you don't realise that you can actually make money from magic, whether that be as a creator, whether that be as an innovator, whether that be as a performer. You can make money. And as I say, that's a really good thing. But don't run if you're not being chased. I've met people that have been in magic for 2 weeks. They've printed their own business cards on, moonpig.com or something like that. And now they're giving business cards out and they're trying to put themselves out as a professional magician when they're not ready because they've not got that performing experience. They don't know what to do if a trick goes wrong. They haven't worked out their character, the presentation. And I'm all for going out and performing. Yeah, absolutely. The day you get into magic, go out and show everyone, show your friends, go down the pub, show your mates, show absolutely everyone. Be the guy that's going out and doing magic for everybody because it's exciting. It's a wonderful hobby, and it's one of those hobbies that you want to learn more and you want to learn more and you want to learn more. But don't run if you're not being chased. There is more than enough time to go out and become a professional magician. There's more than enough time to go out and make your own business cards and go out and do gigs. Get the foundations down first. And in this first video, hopefully that's something that is coming across, which is don't rush to, buy everything. Don't rush to buy the tricks that aren't suitable for your act. Don't rush to go out and perform professionally when you're not ready. Get experience first. Go to a care home. Offer to do some gigs for free. Go somewhere where you can be bad. Because that's what you need to do. You need to learn how to be good. And the only way to learn how to be good is by being bad and then learning from experience, because it's fine to mess up as long as you fail forwards, as long as when you mess up, you pick yourself up, you learn from the experience and you don't do it again, right? Anyway, that's point number 3. Don't rush to become a professional magician. Let's look at point number 4. Point number 4 follows on from point number 3. Now, in point number 3, I talked about don't rush to become a professional magician. Point number 4 is please don't rush to become a creator of magic. Please don't rush. And I've talked about this on Talk Magics before. I've spoken to other magicians about this on this channel over and over again. But when you come into magic, the creators of the magic are held on pedestals. And I remember the first time I went to Blackpool and saw Jay Sankey, I was pretty much starstruck because this is a guy that I've been learning from for a very long time, and I finally saw him live and I was so excited. And we do it. We put these magicians on pedestals. The people that are out creating the magic, and it's like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be a creator like this guy, because then everybody would look up to me. Maybe then I would be enough, or whatever it is. And so you see a lot of people that are new into magic that start creating their own magic. Ryland does it, and actually he's not doing too bad a job, but he creates. He's constantly sitting there going, I've got a new trick, I've got a new trick. And bless his cotton socks, some of them are dreadful. Just terrible, because he hasn't thought it through. And he's got a fairly big knowledge base, and he hasn't thought it through. And then he creates some other tricks, which are good. And I have to say to him, well, that was done before, but it's good that you actually created that, because that's actually a really good trick, and you created it and you didn't know what the original was, but it's already been done. Sorry, mate. And he goes, oh, the point is, don't rush to create magic. It's so easy these days for any magician of any level to go out and create downloads. All you have to do is get an account with someone like Murphy's or Penguin. You could create any old thing, film it on your phone, put together a trailer in iMovie on your phone, and send it off, and it can be marketed to thousands of people on Penguin Magic the next day. And it's so easy to do that. I remember speaking to Scott Alexander, and he said that he's willing to bet that there are tricks out there that are being marketed to magicians, that the guy woke up in the morning with a half-assed idea, grabbed a camera phone, filmed it, edited it, sent it off to Murphy's or Penguin or somewhere like that, or Theory 11, and by the afternoon, it was up online as a product, and 24 hours earlier, it didn't even exist. And you're doing detrimental damage to yourself in this industry. If you want to be a creator, you want to create magic that everybody loves to buy. What you don't want to do is come into magic and 4 weeks later, you're releasing your first download, because you're not going to know everything that you need to know. You're not going to have the knowledge base. There's probably 1,000 ways of doing that trick better. But you don't know those 1,000 ways, because you don't have that toolbox at your disposal. And this goes to point number 1 about making sure that you learn lots of moves and lots of techniques that you can apply to different things. If you have, for example, one way to force a card, and I know about 30 different ways of forcing a card that work in different situations, but if you only know one way of forcing a card, then what's going to happen when you create a trick that requires a force? You're going to use that method. But there might be a method that's way better than that force if you knew it. But you don't know it because you haven't got the knowledge base. You only know one force. You might only know 1 or 2 color changes. And it might be a trick that you're releasing that requires a color change. Well, if you only know a couple of color changes, your options are very limited. Whilst if you spend time learning everything and assimilating all this information, you're going to have a much wider toolbox. One thing I like doing is I like looking at classic tricks and seeing how I can actually kind of revitalize them. If you've ever seen my Visible project, that's the perfect example. Taking something that everybody has done the same way and then saying, well, what can we do if we think outside the box? If you've seen my Beyond Stebbins project, that's another thing. What can I do with this particular stack that's different to what everyone else is doing? Because everyone is doing exactly the same thing. I love doing that. And one of the reasons that I'm actually quite good, or at least I think I'm quite good at doing that, is because I've got a big knowledge base. I'm very well read. I'm surrounded by hundreds of books here. I know a lot. So because I know a lot, I've just got lots of different ways that I can apply something. I can go, right, okay, well, there's this. I can think of 15 different ways of doing this. You've probably seen it in the review show. I'll review something and I'll say, well, to be honest, this is how I'm going to do this. Take the Time Box by TCC. I've already published about 5 different, not published, but I've already put on YouTube 5 different performances of this box with completely different methodologies and completely different presentations, because I have that knowledge at my fingertips, if that kind of makes sense. So the point I'm trying to make here is do not rush. Again, it comes back to the same message. Do not rush if you're not being chased. Do not go and try to be a creator. Get that knowledge base first, and then you'll realize, A, there's probably a better way of doing it than what you've actually come up with. And secondly, you'll know if somebody else has done it before. So you want to be a creator? That's cool. It's a great thing to aspire to. But make sure that you take your time. Okay, and point number 5, another mistake that new people make when they first get into magic. And as we've followed this theme the entire way through the video, we're going to finish off by using the same theme in a slightly different way. And this is probably the most important tip that I'm going to leave you with this video, which is don't rush. I see so many new performers that rush the performance. And what I mean by that is it's like, hi, my name's Craig, I want you to pick a card. Can you pick a card? Very good. Take the card, put it in the middle of the deck. Very good. Look, if I snap my fingers, it comes to the top. Isn't that great? Look, if I take that card, put it down in the middle of the deck, snap my fingers, it comes to the top of the deck again. Look at this, I've put it at the bottom of the deck, it comes to the top. It's like, calm down, dude. Here's the thing. You see a lot of new magicians rushing. And I think the reason that you see a lot of new magicians rushing their performance is because they haven't studied the important part of performing. Because remember, magic is a performance, okay? You see so many people focusing on the magic part and the technique part and sitting there, right, I'm going to get the perfect double lift, or I'm going to get the perfect second deal, and all that is great. But you should also understand the principles of performance. Slow things down, understand your character, eye contact, excitement, interaction. Hey guys, my name's Craig, I'm the magician, I'm going to show you a trick. I've got 52 cards here, sir, do me a favour, will you pick a card? Very good, show the card to everyone, don't show it to me. That is, or whatever it may be. Make it engaging, make it interesting. You know, I've seen so many new magicians and they go, pick a card, sign it. And while they're signing the card, nothing, silence. Nothing kills a performance more than silence. You know, I have a million different things to do when someone's signing a card. Sign a card, fantastic. Can you sign it for me? Very good. You can tell a gag. Sign the card on the face, not on your face, on the face of the card. It wouldn't look very good on your face. Very good. Underneath, can you put your bank account number and sort code? That'd be amazing. Thank you. Your PIN number, all that fun stuff. That'd be great. You could cover it with a gag. You can talk to the other group. So pick a card, sign the card. While you're signing the card, guys, I just want to say this is going to be the most amazing trick that you have ever seen. I guarantee it. You look very excited over there, sir. I can tell you're excited about what's going to happen to this signed card, aren't you? You can tell a joke, in a really bad joke, in a kind of a tongue-in-cheek way. While he's signing the card, guys, that's a bit of dead time, so I'd like to tell you all the joke. What was Piglet doing with his head down the toilet? Looking for poo. Okay, hurry up please, sir, because frankly I'm dying right now. Surely it doesn't take that long to sign a card. Or you can do something magical. So you could say, sign the card for me. Very good. While he's signing the card, check this out. Look, if I just reach over here, I can make another pen appear. If I take that pen and squeeze it, it looks like it disappears. It doesn't, it jumps over there. Take the pen, squeeze it again, it jumps over there. Look, I can make that pen disappear and bring it back from over there. Or if I take the pen and do this, I can, look, turn it into a tattoo. How weird is that? Isn't that weird? You guys look really impressed with that, but wait till you see. Have you signed it? You have? Brilliant. Rather than just going, pick a card. You got it? Good. Put it back. Do you see what I mean? It's about understanding the principles of performance. Understand that you are a performer. As a magician, you are performing the trick. It is just as important to perform it well than it is to have flawless technique. I have seen some magicians whose technique is terrible, but they are an incredible performer. An incredible performer. My friend Cy Peddle, who is a musician and a magician, he will openly say he is not the most technical magician in the world. He's just not. But he has this cheeky chappy Manchester style thing going on. He's got this certain X factor, and you just can't teach that. You've either got it or you haven't, and he has it in spades. And I've seen him walk into a room and light that entire room up with a trick that a lot of other people would look at and go, I can't believe he's doing that trick. And he absolutely brings the house down because he focuses on presentation rather than technique, and that works for him. So understand that when you're practicing all these weird and wonderful moves, don't rush the performance. Don't go 100 miles an hour. Think about how you're going to perform it. How are you going to draw people into your performance? Slow things down. Make it a little bit slower. It's something I have to do all the time because my natural thing is to talk fast. So I have to slow things down. I have to have a conscious effort to constantly slow things down. Then how are you going to bring everything in? What is your character? My character is somebody who's very sarcastic. So, you know, I'll just be really sarcastic all the way through the performance, and people buy into that, and that's my character. Understand your character, understand your performance, understand how you're going to perform. All of this stuff is really, really, really important. So there you go, guys. That is another magic stuff in the bag. 5 mistakes that new magicians make and what you can do to make sure that you don't make those mistakes yourself. And if you do, what you can do to fix it. Now, would you like to see another one of these? Because I've got about another 10 points, so I could probably do another 2 videos. Is this a useful video for you to do? Because if it is, I would absolutely love to produce these for you. So let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know what you thought of this video. What did you think? And also, don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. And please don't forget, Netrix. The Netrix is coming soon. So if you want to be kept up to date with everything that's going on and you want to know when it launches, just go to www.magictv.org. Go on to Netrix, fill in your email address, just select Netrix, and we will let you know when it goes live. It's going to go live really soon. And Netrix is a good thing for you to get because we cover a lot of what I talked about here in this video. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'm going to be back again tomorrow on Friday with a review show revisited, a shorts and a live. I'll see you again soon. Have a great day. My name's Craig from Magic